Okay, this is Tyler Majors, and I'm interviewing Miss Lauren Harbuck at NEA Baptist. And we have a couple of questions here. And the first one I'm going to ask is, why did you choose this profession?
I knew early on growing up that I wanted to do something with health and wellness. I come from a family of doctors and nurses and just people in the health profession. I loved working out when I was in high school. I played lots of sports, did track, basketball, volleyball, everything. And so when I went to school, I actually got my degree in health promotions. And so my bachelor's degree is in health promotions. And then I decided that I wanted to go the cardiac rehab route. And NEA only hires nurses for cardiac rehab.
Really?
So I had to go back to nursing school and go that route.
Really? So you had to become an RN 1st in order to do cardiac rehab? Really? I believe over there at ASA at the campus, they say that you have to get your master's in exercise science if you want to go into cardiac rehab. But I didn't know that. Is it NEA only?
It's NEA specifically.
Do you know why they do that?
Because here at our cardiac rehab, we focus in different areas as well. So we do cardiac rehab, we do pulmonary rehab, and then we also do diabetic education, heart failure education, smoking education, and to be able to educate, we have to have a nursing background.
That RN background. Okay, that makes perfect sense.
Specifically for the diabetes education, because we do insulin injections and stuff like that.
Now, are you a RN, can you choose what shift you want to do, whether if you work in cardiac rehab one day or if you just want to be a RN or in the ER for one day? Can you choose to switch your shifts out like that?
Well, you could if you hired in as a PRN position. It's kind of like a float pool nursing, and then they would just float you to the different areas that you're needed.
Okay, I see. So they choose for you if you're that float pool nurse. Okay, great, yeah. And another question would be, how long have you been working in cardiac rehab?
I'm going on my 6th year.
6th year? All right, and you came straight out of, did you graduate in
I graduated in 2009 at A-State, and then I went back to school and graduated with my RN in 2012, and then started with NEA Baptist in 2012 as a heart nurse on the cardiovascular unit. Worked there for 6 months, and a job in cardiac rehab came open, so I took it, and I've been here ever since.
Wow, okay. Another question would be, what advice would you give to someone pursuing cardiac rehab?
Let's see, I don't know, that's a good question. Just make sure you know what's required in the area to be able to get into it before trying. Okay. Because that was my thing. I had to work around to be able to get where I wanted because I didn't necessarily have the correct degree.
Okay. Did you get your RN? I remember you saying you graduated in 2009 and then went back for your RN and graduated in 2012. So was that a 3-4 year program?
Well, actually, I worked for a year on and off, just doing certain things. I actually could not find a job with my health promotions degree, to be honest. Yeah, totally. So I worked for a year and then applied to RN school, and it was a 2-year program.
And it was a 2-year program? That was at A-State, right?
It was actually at ANC.
Oh, ANC in Paragould. It's that community college out there, right?
Arkansas Northeastern College.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Oh, perfect. And I know a lot of people do the Newport route as well because it is a 2-year program out there as well, opposed to, if you go to A-State, then it's going to be 3 years plus your clinicals plus everything like that.
Right.
So a lot of people are like, okay, why aren't we going and getting it done in 2 years instead of having to drag it all out, you know? And let's see, another question would be, so you got a degree in health promotion, right? Is that the only degree that you had received?
Yes.
Okay. And that was a bachelor's? Okay, great. Has any past patient stood out to you?
I mean, honestly, all my patients in here, especially our phase 3 patients.
Mm-hmm.
So our phase 3 program is for our patients that come through as a phase 2 and graduate. And then we offer a maintenance program for them so they continue to come and work out 2 to 3 times a week. And we have patients in here, especially our Monday, Wednesday, Friday class at 7 in the morning. They've been coming, most of them for 5. Since I've been here, they've been coming. And so we get to know them really well.
And once you get to know them, they really stand out. You hear their stories, you hear their past.
They're just like family. Mm-hmm.
That's great. I love that environment right there. That's why I chose to be, you know, in this medical field. A lot because of my grandmother, and for 2, because, you know, I love people and I love helping people, and you know, I really, and that's how I felt with my grandmother too. She was recently deceased, but I grew up and she took care of me my whole life because my parents were busy at work, and she developed kyphosis and osteoporosis in her 50s, but I didn't even realize it till I was old enough to really see the pain that she was in, and it ended up her taking care of me, and then as I grew up, I had to take care of her.
Right.
And, you know, it was just little things like daily activities. She couldn't perform. She'd be worn out. She would have trouble with just moving from one end of the room to the next, you know? And so that's what really inspired me to go into this route. She has a lot to do with it. And, you know, just hearing that, you know, that patients do stand out to you and you get to learn their stories and their past experiences, like, that's great to me. I love it. But all right, and another question would be, if you weren't working in cardiac rehab, what do you think you would be doing?
I would be staying at home with my kids. I would, honestly. If I didn't love my job as much as I do, I would be at home with my kids. I can't think of any other area that I would want to work in other than cardiac rehab. Right.
Well, that's, you know, that shows true passion right there too about it, you know. How long did it take you to get where you are now? Well, you graduated in 2009, so definitely a couple of years, maybe 6 years total after the health promo. If you could give me any life advice not relating to cardiac rehab, what would it be?
Any life advice? Always follow your heart. That would be my best advice.
That is
go with what your heart tells you to do.
That is great advice. That is really awesome. Thank you, Lauren. And that will conclude the interview. Thank you again for taking your time out of your day to do this with me.